It is my great honor and privilege to welcome Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, Honorable Vice President of India, as the chief guest to the 14th FICCI HEAL conference on the theme Post-COVID Healthcare World, the New Beginning. Joining him in the session are Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President FICCI and Joint MD Apollo Hospitals Enterprises Limited, Dr. Alok Roy, Chair FICCI Health Services Committee and Chairman Medica Group of Hospitals, Dr. Harsh Mahajan, Co-Chair FICCI Health Services Committee and Founder and Chief Radiologist Mahajan Imaging. Also have with us today Mr. Dilip Chenoy, Secretary General FICCI, and Dr. Narottam Puri, Advisor FICCI and Advisor Medical Operations, Fortis Healthcare. Distinguished speakers, delegates, partners, students, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to share with you that the 12th FICCI HEAL conference saw 2,700 registrations up to 1 p.m. today. And in the pre-conference session, sir, I'm happy to inform you that we had about 807 unique login and 3,632 logins. Sir, I would like to also take the opportunity to apprise you that in the pre-conference session of FICCI HEAL, we started today at 9:45 p.m. with the opening session where we paid tribute to our doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers, which was followed by a FICCI Healthcare Excellence Awards. Thereafter, we had an insightful keynote address by Mr. Mohandas Pai on the impact of COVID on the society and culture. We also had pre-conference business sessions on changing landscape of pharma industry and diagnostics, pandemic and beyond, along with 2 scientific sessions on private healthcare at the forefront of battle with COVID-19, from strategy to frontline trenches, and COVID-19 spectrum of clinical syndromes and complications. Without further ado, may I request now the FICCI President, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, to give her welcome address.
Namaste. Honorable Shri Venkaiah Naidu Garu, the Vice President of India, Mr. Bart Jensen, Dr. Alok Roy, Dr. Harsh Mahajan, Dr. Narottam Puri, Mr. Dilip Chenoy, Shobha Mishra Ghosh, all other participants, speakers, delegates from India and around the world, namaste and a very, very good evening to all of you. Honorable Vice President, sir, it's our greatest pleasure to have you with us at this significant conference. At no other time in the world has healthcare been so center stage. At no other time in the world have the problems been so intense and require us to innovate, to ideate, and to collaborate together. FICCI HEAL is a reflection of that ideology that we must serve everybody. And we are trying our very best to do so and to showcase it in a manner that it is a benefit for all. Albert Einstein once said that a life lived in the service of others is the only life that's worth living. And I think what we are seeing here, with so many lives being put at risk for the sake of treatment of COVID, I want to spend a second first remembering so many lives which have been lost, families who have been impacted, and the lives of our healthcare workers, our nurses, our doctors, who fearlessly put themselves forward in the service of society. Sir, it is these brave people who have also inspired us, and the FICCI HEAL Award celebrated, congratulated, acknowledged, and hence inspired many others to live up to their ideology. I would also like to acknowledge others who we could not this morning, but we believe have played a significant role. Leaders in the healthcare sector, of course, our Honorable Health Minister, but people like Dr. V.K. Paul, Dr. Guleria, Dr. Balram Bhargav of ICMR, each one of them have been exemplary in their showcasing of leadership, in their sharing of knowledge and thought process, and in guiding through this very difficult time. Speaking of people who lost their lives during COVID, Honorable Vice President Sir, you will be very aware of a very precious life we lost, that is of S.P. Balasubramaniam Garu. He's a very famous singer in South India. And in one of his famous movies, the last song embodies the highest virtue of Nishwartha Seva or selfless service. And he sang a line which says, Dorakuna Intvanti Seva, which means, can I ever be blessed with the privilege to serve you? And so through the service of people is really the service of God. This song offers the greatest meaning to all of us healthcare workers, that the divine permeates in every living person on this planet. And therefore, in serving people is the ultimate service of God. Sir, it is with this ideology that we have great pleasure in welcoming you to this program. Your pragmatic approach on many things, your proactive leadership, your ability to decipher complex situations and simplify them, and most significantly, your unparalleled oratory leave us really waiting for your session. And we thank you so much for your presence, because your presence truly signifies the importance of this conference. I want to end by just saying one thing, and that is, this conference is not just about celebrating what has been done, about seeing the power of the healthcare sector and what we can do for India and the world, but also about ideating new beginnings which are inclusive about healthcare. So how do we create that universal access to everybody? Beginnings which are proactive in their approach, so that primary healthcare is strengthened, that the social determinants of care, whether it's clean drinking water or nutrition, that no citizen is left untouched. Tech-enabled care. Our Prime Minister has given us all these visions and more. How are we taking telemedicine to the next frontiers? Atmanirbhar, a country which used to manufacture 10,000 PPEs, is now manufacturing 4.5 lakh PPEs per day and becoming not an importer of PPEs, but an exporter of medical products. A country where, in a new beginning, we look at preventive care in the most proactive method possible, so that we don't find our cardiac problems when we have 3 vessels blocked, or a cancer coming to us, as 70% of the patients do in stage 2 and stage 3. Let India, through this approach in healthcare, be futuristic in approach, be grounded in our traditional capabilities and our values, as Ayush showed us, but most significantly, let us be a beacon of light to the rest of the world in terms of our capability, our cure, and our humanity. With this spirit, I welcome all of you to this very significant Congress. I congratulate the organizers for what you have put together, and I genuinely, sincerely welcome and thank our Honorable Vice President for his presence. Thank you all, and namaste. Shobha, you're on mute.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for once again reiterating the gratitude that we feel for our, great doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers, and the entire community that has saved, kind of saved us from the COVID-19 aftermath, and also for highlighting the new beginnings that we would be taking forward during the next 2 days of deliberation. With this, I would like to now call upon Dr. Alok Roy, Chair, FICCI Health Services Committee and Chairman, Medica Group of Hospitals, to give an overview of the conference.
Thank you, Shobha. Honorable Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, Honorable Vice President of India, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President FICCI and Joint MD, Apollo Group of Hospitals, Dr. Harsh Mahajan, Co-Chair of FICCI Health Services Committee, Mr. Dilip Shenoy, Director General, FICCI, and distinguished speakers, delegates, partners, students, and ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely grateful to Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, Honorable Vice President of India, for joining us today despite his extremely busy schedule. Dr. Sangeeta has once again, through her inspiring address, shared with us some of the critical concerns of healthcare sector, as well as the pathway to the post-pandemic healthcare world. We all know that endemic diseases contribute to the economic burden by impacting health, livelihoods, agricultural productions, and entire ecosystems. It was estimated that healthcare sector in India alone faced operational losses to the tune of 14,000 crores for a quarter. Private healthcare sector has been the bedrock of capacity and capabilities in India, particularly in higher secondary and tertiary care, constituting more than 60% of the beds and inpatients, as well as 80% of the doctors in the country. It is also amongst the country's top 5 employers. Along with the challenges, it is expected that the current scenario will open up a plethora of healthcare needs, giving way to a transformed healthcare delivery system. Hence, the FICCI Health Services Committee carefully crafted this year's conference theme as Post-COVID Healthcare World, the New Beginning. Life is going to change. The pre- and post-conference sessions over the 3 days will highlight the impact of COVID as well as learnings and opportunities for the future development of healthcare systems across the spectrum, including evolving care delivery, developments in diagnostics, enabling digital technologies, rise in home healthcare, changing pharma landscape, self-reliance in medical technology. There will be a parallel stream of scientific sessions that would focus on the clinical challenges faced due to COVID-19 and the reasons from various stakeholders. The last sessions of the conference would focus on the learnings that COVID-19 has brought in for the future of healthcare in terms of government focus, enhanced preventive and promotive care, as well as improved stakeholder collaborations in the Indian context. FICCI, in partnership with Boston Consulting Group, has also undertaken a study to lay out the contours of open digital health ecosystem as envisioned in the National Digital Health Mission announced by the Honorable Prime Minister on 15th August 2020. This report titled Leapfrogging to a Digital Healthcare System, Reimagining Healthcare Delivery for Every Indian will be released very shortly. In addition, FICCI is also organizing a MedTech Bootcamp in partnership with BIRAC on day 2 of the conference that intends to bridge the existing gap between Indian innovators and other key industry stakeholders by facilitating potential partnership among them, along with an opportunity to exhibit their products and solutions. The FICCI Healthcare Excellence Award that were held this morning have emerged as the definitive recognition for contribution to healthcare in the country over the years based on innovation, impact, and sustainability and scalability, which form the 3 criteria for evaluation. I would like to tell Honorable Vice President that this award in India is known as Oscar for Healthcare in India. This year, the jury has been chaired by Shri C.K. Mishra, former Secretary, Minister of Environment and Forest, and the awards ceremony was graced by Shri Rajiv Gauba, Cabinet Secretary, Government of India. This year, in the backdrop of pandemic and to recognize the courage and dedication of healthcare workers, especially COVID categories, were also introduced. FICCI has also been working very closely with the government as well as the industry for the response to COVID-19, whether it was through recommendations on a workable strategies and models or through felicitation of logistics. FICCI's Swasth Bharat Task Force has over the past few months developed various IEC material for hospitals as well as general public. E-learning courses on COVID for healthcare workers as well as guides for safer workplaces, one in association with WHO India. FICCI has also been dedicatedly sharing all the advisories from the government with the industry and has published numerous reports and documents including the exit strategy and post-lockdown SOPs for industry. FICCI, in association with Tech Mahindra, also set up a 24/7 helpline, initially for COVID treatment and later expanded it for non-COVID treatment. With this, we welcome our Honorable Vice President again to today's meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Roy, for laying down the contours of deliberation during the next 3 days of the conference, and also highlighting to the Honorable Vice President, so far what we have done. Sir, as Dr. Roy mentioned, we will now request you to release the FICCI BCG report leapfrogging to digital healthcare system, reimagining care delivery for every Indian. FICCI appreciates and acknowledges the contribution of the team from Boston Consulting Inc., led by Bart Janssens, MD and senior partner, who has joined us over here. We also would like to thank the tireless efforts of Mr. Nikhil Bhaskar and the rest of the team in putting this report together. Congratulations to Team BCG and Team FICCI for putting this, what Dr. Puri said, it will be like a Bible for the healthcare for the next 10 years.
Thank you. It was a privilege partnering with FICCI on this important topic.
Thank you, Bart. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors. We are highly obliged. And with great humility and pleasure, may I request you, sir, to deliver the inaugural address.
Namaskar. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President of FICCI, Dr. Alok Roy, Chair of the FICCI Health Services Committee, Mr. Bart Janssens, Managing Director, Boston Consulting Group, Dr. Narottam Puri, Dr. Harsh Mahajan, Co-Chair FICCI Health Services, and Chief Radiologist Mahajan Imaging, Sri Dilip Chanayak, Secretary General FICCI, other office bearers of the FICCI, doctors and health workers who are witnessing this program, students and faculty from medical colleges who are all watching this program. My dear sisters and brothers, at the outset, let me compliment the FICCI, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy and her team, for holding this timely event on the theme Post-COVID Healthcare, New Beginning. Today, the world is in the grip of an unprecedented pandemic, with healthcare infrastructure stretched to its limits in most of the countries. At this juncture, the immediate concern of all governments and health authorities is to contain the spread of the contagious virus, save lives, and support efforts for vaccine development. Let us hope that there will be good news on the vaccine front in the near future. The pandemic has caused a massive adverse impact on the healthcare systems and the economies of the nations, with the disease being highly contagious and no cure till now. Social distancing, wearing masks, frequent washing of hands, and lockdowns have become inevitable to prevent its spread. Undoubtedly, all sections of the society had to face some amount of hardship in view of the disruption to their normal routine. But we all need to collectively move ahead with renewed determination to defeat this virus. Not only do we need to find ways to eliminate the virus, but we also have to be prepared to meet the post-COVID challenges and be well equipped to face any future pandemics. That is the topic for today. My dear sisters and brothers, it is highly critical for the people to act responsibly. I say to act responsibly in their own interests and the interest of the country and the humanity. Support the multifarious efforts of the government at the center, the state, and also health professionals to break this transition of the dreaded virus. So all the stakeholders must together act. The Prime Minister was time and again insisting on Team India spirit. Everyone must perform his or her responsibility. They must adapt to the culture of new normal and take all the prescribed precautions seriously. From the initial lockdown to gradual using of various restrictions, thanks to the foresight and vision of the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, the initial lockdown was really helpful. Otherwise, we are all seeing the effects. The government took several measures to prevent the spread of infection and mitigate the hardship caused to the people. The gradual and phased reopening is helping the individuals. You can't be in lockdown forever. Because, as rightly said by the Prime Minister, life is important, but livelihood also is important. You can't live in isolation and have the consolation. It will not give you the insulation. You have to be careful. At the same time, move on. You must help to revive the economy. However, we must all continue to be vigilant till the normalcy returns. We simply cannot allow complacency to set in and lower our guard. Steps were taken by the government to create additional health infrastructure, enhance human resource and indigenous production of critical medical consumables and devices such as PPEs, N95 masks and ventilators. I'm glad that the DRDO and some of the private industries rose to the occasion, meeting the requirement. For appropriate management of COVID-19 cases, Government of India has advised the state governments to set up 3-tier arrangement of health facilities exclusively for COVID. Dear sisters and brothers, we have to bear in mind that COVID-19 unfortunately has also caused universal psychological impact and led to depression and psychiatric conditions among some people. The psychological aspect of older people, their caregivers, psychiatric patients, and marginalized communities need special attention. There have been deplorable instances of stigma and discrimination against frontline warriors and COVID-19 patients. Such behavior is totally unacceptable. It is against our cultural ethos, our traditions. Share and care is the core of our philosophy. And such behavior is totally unacceptable and must be nipped in the bud. It is important that we do not discriminate against anyone who is COVID positive or anyone who has come in contact with COVID patient. We have to promote empathetic attitude and positive messaging around COVID-19. I would like to specially compliment healthcare workers across the continuum, from practitioners, doctors under training, nurses to senior health experts, the technicians, support staff, for their selfless, exemplary service and devotion in combating the spread of the virus and saving their lives. I'm happy to know that FICCI members have not only been sharing best practices and solutions to combat the pandemic, but have been supporting the government in a number of ways, including augmenting healthcare facilities. I would also like to acknowledge the role of many private hospitals for offering their facilities, manpower, and equipment, knowledge in the treatment of COVID and non-COVID patients at this crucial hour. Dear sisters and brothers, the current pandemic while creating new challenges, has also created opportunities to transform our healthcare delivery system. These include newer care delivery models with greater focus on preventive and primary care, use of advanced technologies, rise of point of care and home-based care, structural changes in health facilities for preparedness of infectious diseases, boost to indigenous manufacturing, as well as research and development products and treatment for better healthcare outcomes. We have to make good quality health care available and affordable, accessible and affordable. This is very important. We must capitalize on the core competence of each stakeholder in our country. We must draw on the best from world to strengthen our healthcare delivery system. I would like the private sector to come forward and expand its footprint through public-private partnership and set up modern healthcare facilities in the rural areas, because India is still 60% rural, particularly in the remote and inaccessible places. Private players have added to the capacity and capability of our healthcare sector in the country, no doubt about it. I'm sure they would continue to play a vital role in augmenting the infrastructure and skills. There has to be a collaborative effort from the industry as well as civil society and other organizations in supporting the government initiatives. The world's largest universal health coverage program, the Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, is now being expanded to the missing middle population of the country. This would ensure that much larger sections of the uncovered population, comprising informal sector workers, self-employed professionals, employees in MSc, MSc, and also the others, are provided health coverage. We must focus our attention on this challenge and continue with our mission. Healthcare, medical profession is called as a mission. We should not treat it as a commission or give any remission or do any omission to our duties in this hour of crisis. This is very important. Doctors are treated as next to gods, and people in this profession must really excel and offer their services to the people. Some of the great examples are there. I don't want to take those details now because of paucity of time. Great service, some of them. And everyone must keep in mind this, that people treat the medical professionals as God. So keeping that in mind, everyone must dedicate to the cause of the people's health. This COVID pandemic has highlighted the need for India to become self-reliant in this sector. With the expansion of healthcare infrastructure through public and private hospitals, the demand for pharmaceutical products, medical devices, and equipment, including instruments, consumables, and disposals, will increase in the coming years. We have a huge population, and there are economic disparities. There are urban-rural divide. So I urge the private sector to take full advantage of the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan and give a fillip to manufacturing of various medical devices, including high-tech and advanced equipment. My dear sisters and brothers, at the risk of repetition, I would like to stress upon the most important lesson which pandemic taught. The pandemic has taught us the overriding importance of staying healthy, both physically and mentally. We must educate the society. The hospital is the last option. We must take preventive care. Doctors, people in medical profession, you have a greater role in educating the people. Through media, through your access to the patients, your old patients, one must educate, continuously educate the people to stay healthy. That is the need of the hour. This would enable us to keep disease at bay by discharging our duties effectively. We are all well aware sedentary lifestyle is one of the main culprits behind the growing incidence of non-communicable diseases, which are on the rise. So we have to revisit our lifestyle, go to the original style, which is given to us by our ancient civilization, our grandfathers and grandmothers. We should not become lazy and crazy. We must be active irrespective of the age. And any form of a physical activity like sport jogging, running, brisk walking, aerobics, and stretching can become part of our daily routine to remain fit. In fact, I suggest yoga and meditation should become part of daily timetable, along with sports in schools and colleges once normalcy returns. This is a must. Apart from having fitness routine, it is essential to have a healthy and balanced diet. Rapid urbanization and modern lifestyles have drastically offered a lot of opportunities and altered the eating habits of the people. We must go back. I am not prescribing any particular diet. I am only suggesting healthy food, healthy diet, proteinous diet, rather than eating junk food. This is very important. Doctors must advise the people so that they can guide their younger generation. We have so many varieties of food in our country, prescribed by our forefathers, which we have been enjoying all these years. But of late, we started going for these fast foods. They are very injurious to health. I want to take this platform and convey to the world and also to our Indian children, my future of my country. Please be careful. Mindless eating should be avoided. It should be replaced having nutritious and protein-rich food. Avoid fast food is a passport for fast reaching upstairs. One has to understand this, children. We have to follow the concept of dinacharya, daily regime, and rutucharya, ritu, seasonal regimes to maintain healthy life. Dinacharya and ritucharya are very important. Every season, a particular type of food has been prescribed by our forefathers. World over, that's a habit. And also daily routine, because we are all aware that health is wealth. If you have health, you can acquire wealth. It's not vice versa. Investing time and energy on daily basis for fitness. Fitness will surely enable us to reap its benefit. FICCI, in fact, Sangeeta ji and your team should have a special session at a later stage, focus on fitness. That is the need of the hour. This sort of exercises will help us to enjoy and savor finer aspects of life for a long, long time. So, keeping that in mind, we must focus more on fitness. The Prime Minister also has given a call, half an hour. This is for your sake, for the sake of the country. My dear sisters and brothers, some time back, I wrote an article that the people in future are going to refer before Corona, during Corona, and after Corona. That is going to be the new jargon, I can tell you. People will be referring before Corona, after Corona, during Corona. I remember my grandmother and grandfather used to tell me, before the bigger cyclone and small cyclone, those days cyclone was a big this thing. And then share their experiences. Same is going to happen. How was life before Corona? How is life during Corona? How is going to be life after Corona? So, please focus on preparing our younger generation. Create conscious mind to guide our thoughts and actions. This is very much necessary. The life AC, that is after Corona, that has to be planned. Not as a temporary measure, as a permanent measure. That's why I tell younger generation, I am 70 plus now. I play badminton 1 hour. I'm not playing badminton for any tournament or for any prize or award. Playing badminton for my own health. And walk half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. Now, during Corona, along with my wife, together, recalling the good old memories and all. This, everyone must go for morning exercise, some game of their choice, and also develop some amount of spiritual. Whatever God, whatever religion you may believe, there are so many ways and guidelines are available for you. But that is also is very important for the equilibrium. And it will give you solace, satisfaction, and strength. You may be surprised that coming to a health conference, the Vice President is talking about yoga, the Vice President is talking about food habits and lifestyles. They are very, very vital. They are very vital. First, you must practice this. Then it becomes inevitable. Then go to your hospital, go to your doctor, and then take recourse to all other things. Because as we are discussing after Corona, the post-COVID healthcare, the new beginning must be also going back to the old habits of both physical as well as spiritual activities, and also focusing enough attention on our food habits. I once again compliment FICCI for taking this initiative 3-day conference, because there are various aspects, various experiences, good practices that one must share with Ada. That is the purpose of this conference. I'm very happy you are doing it. And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Vice President. Thank you very much. I request Mr. Harsh Mahajan, Co-Chair of the FICCI Health Services Committee, to please give the word of thanks.
Good evening and namaskar. As Chairman of the Organizing Committee of FICCI Heal 2020, it is a privilege and honor for me to thank Honorable Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, the Vice President of India, for having acceded to our request for being the chief guest of this very important conference. Sir, you have always been personally very kind and partial to me over the years, and I am indeed grateful to you for this. Your words of wisdom that we've heard today and your advice, especially to the younger lot in the country, will go a long way in helping us improve healthcare services in the country, bring public and private sector closer together so that we may fight the pandemic in a holistic and unified manner. It is a pleasure for me to thank Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, our very own, who, as president of FICCI, had the vision to make FICCI Heal 2020 the foremost gathering of doctors, scientists, consultants, economists, business leaders, thinkers, and administrators. It is her vision which you see translated to reality over the 3 days. I must thank Dr. Alok Roy, Chairman of the Healthcare Committee, and the co-chairs, Mr. Gautam Khanna and Dr. Subramaniam, for the wonderful work they've done during this year and for all the ideas and help given in organizing this conference. Dr. Narottam Puri, my teacher and advisor to the Healthcare Committee, deserves special mention, along with Dr. Aarti Verma, who has put together a wonderful scientific program which is going to unfold in the next 3 days. I would be failing in my duty if I do not highlight the hard work, planning, and coordination done by Ms. Shobha Mishra Ghosh, Ms. Sarita Chandra, Ms. Shilpa Sharma, and their team. They have been fantastic and have worked tirelessly. Mr. Dilip Chenoy, the Secretary General of FICCI, is to be especially thanked for his support and guidance, without which this program would not have been possible. I also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Bart Jansen and his team from the Boston Consulting Group for putting together this paper, or this knowledge paper, which you have very kindly released, Honorable Vice President, sir. Finally, I thank the sponsors who have contributed very generously, and most importantly, the delegates who have registered in very large numbers. We look forward to a feast of knowledge in the next few days and hope that the deliberations here would lead to better diagnostic and treatment outcomes for patients and help in controlling this pandemic. Thank you very much.